Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1015. When we last left our heroes, Luffy fell into the ocean. So he's not gonna die because he's Luffy, but I don't know how he's getting out of that one. Kaido makes a cryptic remark about how he couldn't be Joy Boy. Super interesting there. But he then tells Bao Huang to alert the entire alliance that Luffy has fallen, and they should probably surrender right about now. No one does, of course. Chopper, meanwhile, is fighting Queen. We learned that thanks to some help from Caesar Clown, he can now use Monster Point for half an hour. I was kind of unclear as to how Caesar felt about the Straw Hats at that point. If it was early enough, he might have done something to maybe permanently harm Chopper. Who knows? But then we focus on Momonosuke, as he's reading his father's journal, and gets some sudden headache that might be related to the voice of all things. And then Kinemon and Kiku show up, as does Kanjuro disguised as Odin. Kiku goes to try to kill Kanjuro, but can't strike the form of Odin, allowing Kanjuro to strike her, maybe fatally. And then Kinemon then strikes Kanjuro in revenge, almost certainly fatally. But before they can, mourn Kiku or celebrate finishing off Kanjuro, Kaido shows up, and Kinemon tries to hold Kaido off while Momo and Shinobu get away. We'll see if he's okay. I think he's alive for now, at least, but we'll see. So let's jump right on into Chapter 1015, Chains. And our picture here is of Senor Pink being confused for a baby by a stork. It's been a while since we've seen him. Hello, Senor Pink. You always had a certainly interesting backstory. But we open on Luffy, who is still falling in the ocean, very unconscious, and I have no idea how anyone will get to him. Also, at the end of last chapter, Onigashima reached the mainland. So the arc is definitely ramping up. Anyway, we then cut to Chopper and Queen, as Chopper kind of taking a bite or Queen is taking a bite out of Chopper's shoulder, as Chopper calls, "Luffy! Ow, ow, ow! You didn't really lose, did you? What are we supposed to do now?" And I think this is the samurai, or these are the minks, my bad, who call Straw Hat lost? And I think these are the samurai. So was it pointless to keep fighting? Straw Hat! Is Lord Momonosuke safe at least? But then we see some of the gifters, who I think have been brought over to Tama's side. Thanks to those dumplings Speed brought us, I'm feeling great. Hold on. Okay, so... So the same gifter then says, "I don't know how you did it, but you samurai brought the most powerful rookies out there to this fight. You weren't weak, that's for sure. Master Kaido's just that strong." So I think this gifter does not know he's been brainwashed by Tama yet. I don't think he knows that Speed is on the enemy side, because Tama mentioned her, desperate need to get to the performance floor for some kind of plan. And I think, if all of these gifters suddenly swap sides, not to mention the waiters and I think the pleasures who all joined Chopper after Queen kind of treated them as disposable, that's kind of the end of the Beast Pirates. I mean, that won't be enough to stop Kaido for sure, but at the very least, it makes things a lot easier for the Alliance. Anyway, we cut to Izo and Kawamatsu and Sanji, who I'll get to in a minute, as Izo tells Kawamatsu that news is certainly going to hurt morale. And we see both Izo and Kawamatsu are very clearly out of breath. Kawamatsu responds, but there's no way for us to know if it's true or not. Sanji, meanwhile, as I was laughing at earlier, is whacking Beast Pirate members with a sleeping Zoro, which is just an all-time great image right there. Listen to those idiots, acting like the battle is lost. And then Queen sort of lets go of Chopper and then turns down to taunt him. "Hey, I was only playing games with you because I thought you wanted to play. Come on, Chopperamon." And Paris Barrow is still raining arrows down on the battlefield. "Kukuku. The slaughter of their general has thrown them into disarray. Perorine." And he just lets loose some more arrows. The samurai all reacts. "Oh no, he just shot more arrows! Apocalyptic candy shower!" And we see this, huge rain of candy arrows approaching them. Stop! No more! There's nowhere to run! And we see there's, one guy who does have a shield. It has, 2 arrows lodged in it. But no one else does, and that shield will not protect him from that apocalyptic shower. The arrows all approach. One of the samurai just screams, "I'm dead!" And then back with Queen. Queen then laughs. "Wahahaha! You're done too! You cowardly excuse for a monster! That meat of yours looks nice and tender!" And he comes for Chopper, and then we hear, "Diable Jumbe!" And there is Sanji, who just goes for the kick on Queen there. And Queen, is he's a little shocked. He's not super injured from the kick. And Sanji continues, "Rotisserie, strike!" And I'm trying to figure out the exact physics of that. Is it a single kick that's just so powerful it spins Queen's head around? Or is it just like a repeated kick? Either way, it seems it's a big attack. It gets over half a page. As Queen screams, "Yeah! Ah!" It's not just that. The samurai are all kind of confused. Huh? And Queen is still spinning as the samurai say, "He's deflecting the arrows for us." Now that's a nifty trick. Maybe he's throwing them back at Paraspero, because he reacts, no, stop!" And either he's hit by the arrows or by Queen's head, but Paraspero is sent flying. I hope not out, because again, it needs to be the Minks that handle him, I think. But one of my ongoing issues with this arc is just the lack of clarity on when anyone is down for the count. Anyway, Paraspero is sent flying with a Perorine! And I think the attack on Queen stops, as Queen finally hits the ground, topples over. The arrows that did not get deflected back toward Paraspero, all sort of hit the ground around the samurai. We're saved! And Sanji pulls out a cigarette and puts it in his mouth. "You held out strong. Well done, Chopper." And Chopper is just in tears. "Sanji, but Luffy!" Okay, so I will say that I hope this doesn't turn into, the monster trio does everything in this arc. I want more Chopper content. And at this point, it looks like Chopper will not be the one to fight Queen, but I hope he gets one big victory. Because I do feel like one of the recurring issues with One Piece right now is that, first of all, there hasn't really been anything like a definitive victory in maybe all of Onigashima? I mean, I guess Big Mom gets a pretty definitive victory against Page 1 and Ulti, but that's not really on our side. And Kinemon pretty definitively killed Kanjuro last week. But still, it's getting to the point where, very little has definitively... there's been very little defeats in this arc. That's been going on for 40 chapters. Even if we're just counting Onigashima, 40 chapters. Almost 40 chapters. So that's a larger problem. But also, I just want Chopper to succeed. I want Chopper to win. But anyway, Sanji just tells him, "Don't cry, idiot. Through all this time we've been together, how many miracles have you seen?" And that kind of stuns Chopper. And, I mean, it's been said by everyone who's ever read One Piece how wonderful the faith the entire cast has in Luffy is. And we see that again here. As much as I've been bitching for the past couple of minutes, One Piece is still incredible. Especially for its characters. And we see that again here. Anyway, Sanji then just kicks Zoro at Chopper. Take care of him. He's got the strength of 10 when he's healthy. And that kick wakes Zoro up, who just irately tries to correct Sanji. 2,000. And Chopper looks at it. Wait, what is that? Zoro! And Sanji just tells him, "Leave that dinosaur to me." And Queen takes notice of who attacked him. "It's you, your judge's son." And I remember there was a moment earlier in the arc where Queen was looking at Sanji's wanted poster, I think, and remarking that he was Judge's son. I forgot the exact details. Or if there's the implication is that there's some detail between some history between Queen and Judge that we don't know yet, or if it's just Judge is a powerful underworld figure, and the fact that Sanji is Judge's son is kind of important. Anyway, the samurai all react, but why does he keep fighting? His captain is already dead. So they're... I mean, I maybe it's just the fact that the crew's faith in Luffy has never really been shaken, and so they've never really had the opportunity to give up with Luffy's defeats. But the idea that they would all just kind of surrender as soon as Luffy goes down doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me. I mean, there's still plenty of power. Maybe they just assume, you know, like how Odin was by far the strongest of the samurai, and once Odin fell, there was really no one to stand up to Kaido. They assume the Straw Hats were kind of like that too. With Luffy down, they just stand no chance against anything now, and they don't understand that the Straw Hats are just 10 incredibly powerful people. But I don't know. Something about that reads a little weird to me. Anyway, Marco watches all this. This is why I like you guys. And then we cut to the castle's first floor crawl space, where all of that Momonosuke action happened. We see Kiku on the ground, unconscious, possibly dead. Momonosuke on his... Or not Momonosuke, Kanjuro. I complained last time about all the K names, but now I'm even getting Momonosuke confused with these people. I don't know. Anyway, Kanjuro on his back, almost certainly dead. And Kaido standing over Kinemon. Kinemon is kind of slumped over, weakly raising his sword. He's definitively alive, but he's also definitively out. As Momonosuke kind of is carried off by Shinobu in tears. And I think that's Kinemon. His sword is, like, shattered. There's only, like, maybe a couple of inches past the hilt. But he still tries to stab Kaido. Kaido, of course, does not really get stabbed easily, so I doubt it actually cut him. But Kaido looks down at Kinemon. And Kinemon, bloodied face, has risen, you know, with his blade on Kaido, just wheezing. With a flashback to what I don't think we've seen before. I remember when I first read Punk Hazard, I thought that Kinemon was Momo's father. And then we, learn more about them. But I don't think we have a flashback to that sort of deception being thought out. As Kinemon asks, "You want me to call you father?" "That is right. To ensure your bloodline is kept secret?" We have an earlier flashback. "Hey, Lord Momonosuke?" Oh no, hold on. I for some reason I read that "you want me to call you father" as a Kinemon line, which made no sense. It was a Momonosuke line. Anyway, "Hey, Lord Momonosuke," and Momo stops him. "You said Lord again, father." It just feels so wrong. Kinemon kind of flails. This must have been like as soon as they left Wano, because it's them and Raizo. As I recall, it was the three of them and Kanjuro who left Wano together while Kiku stayed behind to spy, right? Been a while since that all happened, so I might be missing some details, but I think I'm right there. And then Momo gets on to him. "Come on, get it right, Kit, father." Even he's screwing up there. Nice little detail. And Raizo laughs. "Wahaha, should I try it instead?" And then we cut to them finally getting it right. "Momonosuke, father!" And then we're back to the present. As Kinemon, I loved how bloodied his face is and how he's still struggling. As Kaido taunts him, "What will these extra seconds buy you? What will their escape change exactly?" And Kinemon says nothing, just thinking, "Flee for your life, Lord Momonosuke." And Momo is, still being carted off in tears. "Run, Shinobu!" And Kaido picks up his blade and stabs Kinemon through. I mean, this is One Piece, so he could live, but at the very least, he's out for the arc. It could be like a Pell or a Pound, where against all odds they survive, but that's not looking good. As Kaido tells him, "Face your death like a warrior. The problem with defeat is so few can accept it when it arrives. And Kaido just leaves him. We see a frog Mary watching them. I'm curious why we turn our focus there. It's because for a second there I didn't comment on it, but you can see what looks like a finger or a couple of fingers carrying the frog. My first instinct was that was Bao Huang, or maybe a part of CP0 who's still hiding somewhere. But it's actually Momonosuke. As Shinobu asks him, "Huh? A frog? Why are you holding that, my lord?" And Momo, through his tears, "I must tell them." We flash back to the headache from last week. "Momo, tell them." I think that might be Luffy. Because I don't think anyone else who has access to the voice of all things or whatever, and would call Momonosuke by something as casual as Momo, I think that has to be Luffy. "My name is Kozuki Momonosuke." And everyone kind of reacts. We're back on the performance floor. "It's Lord Momonosuke. He's alive. I pass along Luffy's words." Is he crying? Because Kaido already killed Luffy Taro. But Momo corrects them. "Luffy is alive. And he tells me that he will return to the battle. So keep fighting, no matter how hard and painful it is." And we see Hyogoro listening to this. Luffy is continuing his descent. Yamato listens in. Raizo in his fight with the long-eared guy. We also see Jinbei as he listens. "As long as you still breathe, continue the fight." And we see what Luffy told him. "Momo, tell them I'm going to beat Kaido. Luffy is going to win!" And the crowd cheers. Yeah! As everyone, we see the samurai. Those actually might be the waiters. They look like they're wearing these pirate clothes. Frankie, Chopper, Brooke, but no Robin. Who's Who is sort of uncomfortable with this. There's Robin. I want to see her fight at some point. Oda, it's been 10 chapters since she started her fight with Black Maria. I want to see it. King is also listening in. It's hard to really get a read on his reaction due to not seeing his face. Kid also grins at hearing of Luffy's survival as the Alliance sort of rallies. "Don't give up the fight!" But then Kaido approaches him. They've hit a wall. They can't really go anywhere. As Kaido taunts him, "Are you satisfied now, son of Odin?" And Momo looks at him, and Odin readies his weapon, his club, as Shinobu starts a technique. Ripe jutsu. Huh? And the ground, falls away. The ground I think they, because they're over the mainland, they can just, fall onto the land, I guess. And Kaido is kind of shocked, as they've literally gotten rid of the land he was going to attack them on. And then we get to, I think that's the Heart Pirate submarine. Someone's there. Huh? Oh, hey! It's the fucking Heart Pirates who are still around! You're right, it's a person. When I was thinking of who could save him, I just never even considered them. Wait, is that Straw Hat? How could he be speaking in the water? I don't know, just help him. So, did they hear, Momo's thing? Because, Momo says he's passing on Luffy's words. But I don't know how they would have heard Momo, because they're in the submarine. I don't think there are any Marys in the submarine. And can they even see Luffy moving? Or mouth moving? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Just help him. Quickly. Is he even still alive? And we cut to Usopp and Nami and Tama still running. Big bro! He's still alive! And Usopp tells Nami, let's run up to the stage, Nami. Yeah! And just then a voice chimes in. I'm glad to hear about Straw Hat. And Nami asks, who said that? Huh? My climate baton just talked? Is Zeus still alive? Did Zeus leave a little bit of himself with Nami? That's some good shit. After that Zeus chapter a while back, that's some good shit. But also, I don't think that would make... I think the theory that popped in my mind is the theory I've heard a while ago about Nami ending up inheriting Big Mom's devil fruit, getting her own soul fruit. And a part of me was like, did Nami somehow leech a bit of Big Mom's powers? On more than a second's thought, that makes absolutely no sense. That's just Zeus. Anyway, speaking of Big Mom, with Kid, Big Mom laughs. Ma, they're just bluffing for him. If he fell into the sea, he's dead for sure. And then, I don't know who's approaching here. It's a pair of legs. I don't think it's Killer, because Killer should be fighting Hawkins right now. But it's not Kid, because Kid is on the ground. But he says, the longer you work with him, the more you get this funny feeling. Oh, that pant design, I think that's Law. I recognize the kind of splotches. I think that's Law, who's finally found his spot in the fight. The more you get... Also, no one else could really say the longer you work with him, quite like Law has. Anyway, the more you get this funny feeling that they'll find a way out of this in the end. And yep, there it is. Trafalgar! Don't tell me you're here to mess up my fight. Kid is not happy here. As Law stops him, grow up, Eustace. Let's form a temporary alliance. Aren't they already in an alliance? But just then, back outside, someone calls down to Kaido. Kaido! And Kaido looks up. I think you mean father, Yamato. And Yamato calls down, no! I've come here to cut those chains. Next chapter hits June 13th. Okay, there's a lot going on here. This is definitely... I've repeatedly divided chapters up into focus chapters and overview chapters. And this is an interesting blend of both, almost. Like, in style, it's very much an overview chapter. There are a bunch of different scenes going on here. From the performance floor, as Chopper struggles to really do any damage to Queen, until Sanji steps in, and takes over the fight. And then we get... That's, like, honestly, that's 8 of the 17 pages. That's about half the chapter. We see Kinemon's last desperate stand that perhaps kills him. As much as anyone can really be confirmed to die in One Piece, that might be it for Kinemon. Again, we never know for sure in this series. It's why deaths don't often hit like maybe they could. Because you're always wondering, is Oda going to bring them back in some way? Like, people have survived worse than a stab wound through the gut in this series. And then we have, Momo's announcement, as we just check in on everyone, a bit of the Heart Pirates, Momo's escape, Law joining up with Kid to fight Big Mom, and now Kaido versus Yamato. But this series, like, that there feels like an overview chapter. It's just, here's what everyone is doing right now. There's no particular focus, even if, like, half the chapter is the performance floor. It still is just, like, there's so many different scenes going on. But also, there is a nice, like, through line here. The through line of the chapter, despite its title being... I'll talk about the title in a second. But the through line is, how do people react to Luffy? The Sanji and Chopper, like, fight harder. Especially Sanji fights harder with the idea that Luffy is out of it for now. Because of his faith in Luffy. Whereas a lot of the Beast Pirates give up. And then Momonosuke is here to provide the, like, hope that Luffy is still alive, has somehow, like, almost subconsciously maybe learned to work the voice of all things. I think that's the right term for it, right? He's learned to use that to communicate with Momo. And, because of that, there is hope again. Usopp, Nami, and Tama are continuing their plan to get the gifters on their side. Law is joining the fight against Big Mom. Yamato is starting a fight with his father. There's a lot of good shit here. And then, there's that big Kinemon scene. Maybe Kinemon is dead. Again, it's still One Piece, and anyone can survive. If Pound can survive a literal decapitation, anyone can survive anything as the plot demands. Which, like, so it's hard to tell how seriously we should take this until the arc ends and, like, they bury Kinemon. or the arc ends and he's in a bed resting somewhere. But yeah, it's still a fun chapter. It's still a really good chapter. I love seeing this quick little like flashback of the beginnings of Kinemon and Momo's like life on the run. I like Sanji's big like moment of heroism, even if I am a little worried it's stealing a big moment for Chopper. I like Momo's big speech to the crowd, as you know he rallies the forces and then gets away thanks to Shinobu. Seemingly, if I'm reading that right, they are on that little chunk of rock. Especially because when we see it at the end, no, I was curious if we could like see from that direction Kaido's perspective, right? But we don't. We only ever see Kaido facing towards the skull until the end of the chapter. But presumably they're somewhere on the Wano mainland. What's going to happen there is anybody's guess for them. If Momo is basically kind of hid away for the rest of the arc, or if he's still going to play some major role going forward, I just don't have any idea. But yeah, a lot going on here. The thing about the chapter title that's interesting, the chains, is that like that feels more like a chapter title for next week. In that like, if that's the moment, you know, if the chains is solely referring to Yamato cutting those, you know, father-son chains with Kaido, that's not really what this chapter is about. That's what the last 3 panels start to be about. And if that is next week's focus, then maybe the next chapter should have been called Chains. Either way, the chapter itself is fun. It's, you know, provides Luffy with a ray of hope that makes sense and that I had completely forgotten about. It gives the Alliance their sort of renewed hope to continue fighting. I still have some hope that we will eventually get to see Robin's fight, even if we continuously like only see her head as she reacts to things, and it's like a nondescript background. But like, come on, Oda, let us see that fight one of these days, please. Please. And then yeah, Law's joining the fight with Big Mom, and Yamato versus Kaido is right around the corner, so a lot going on. A lot going on. And I can't wait to see where this all leads to. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. You know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!